The first day of stocking your juveniles or fingerlings is the most sensitive day in the production cycle of your fish farm. Now, there are a lot of mistakes beginners make on the first day of stocking that is causing them a lot of mortalities. And in this video, I'm going to take you through three most important beginner mistakes beginners are making, and that is causing them. And if you avoid them, you are going to be successful in your first day of stocking, and for that matter, the journey throughout. In fact, if you observe, once you have gotten your trusted source of your fingerlings, then there are things that you need to avoid because if you do them, it will cost you. I'll take you through the three of them and I'll give you exactly what to do, having identified them as mistakes. And the mistake number one is rushing to count your fish into the pot. In fact, a lot of beginners, we could say because of trust issues, when they receive their juveniles or fingerlings, they want to count them individual into the pond to see whether the person have actually provided them with the right quantity. This is very important to know whether you have actually gotten the exact number you requested and to know how many fish you have stocked. But it is not ideal to do that on the first day. Why? Because as the fish has been transported to your place, they are very stressed up. Now, the container that brings them was smaller and the oxygen was very low. So now, because they are stressed up and you immediately start counting them one after the other, you are subjecting them to another stress level. You are also subjecting them to physical injuries. And if care is not taken, you are going to have challenges after you count them. So, what you should actually do is that acclimatize them. When you acclimatize them, you can count them later. And when we talk about acclimatization, we are talking about gradual introducing the fish into the pot because the container that brings them, the water temperature there is different from the pond temperature. So the sudden change of environment can shock them. So what you have to do is that put the container inside the water and allow it to float on it for about 15 to 30 minutes. After that, you gently lower it, then the water will mix gradually, and then till the fish themselves start to swim into the pond. By then, they have adjusted the temperature. Then gradually, you can lower the container and gently move all of them into the pond, and that is acclimatization. And that is the best way of stocking your newly juveniles or fingerlings. But to count them and put them individually, like I told you, you are subjecting them to more stress, and that can lead to more or diseases and mortality. Now, the second thing that beginners rush to do is to salt dip or salt bath their juvenile or fingerling before introducing them. This, when done right, could be okay. It needs experienced farmers to do that. And you might be asking, what is salt bathing or salt dipping? Salt dipping is making salt solution, a concentrated one, and then you put the juveniles or the fish into it within few seconds or minutes and transfer them into the pot. So some people, when they bring their juveniles, they will prepare their solution, the salt solution, I mean. Then they pour the juveniles or the fingerlings into a basket or a net and then pour that water out and then dip them in the salt solution within few minutes or seconds before introducing them into the pot. This, it is believed, or this actually help boost the immune system. It also relieves them stress. However, if you don't do it right, it will rather give you serious diseases or serious mortality. For instance, the concentration of the salts, it has a level that would be okay for the fish. So you need to know the right amount of salt and the right quantity of water to put together to be able to have the fish salt bath without challenges. Now, if you don't know this and you just quickly put your fish in that solution and the concentration is higher than the fish, you are likely to lose them because each species has the amount of salt concentration that it can survive in. Apart from the concentration, if you also keep them longer than the required period, you are going to lose them. So the earlier, the better. If you don't have that experience and to do it the right way, why not just introduce them in the pond and then you are good to go? Not only salt bathing, in that some also use antibiotics just after tetracycline or any antibiotics and put that in water, put the fish to there before introducing them into the pond. All this, if you are not experienced, please don't do that. What is important is that once you put your water in the pond first, let it settle down at least 12 to 24 hours. Let it settle in the pond. Now you can now introduce the fish into it and you are good to go. The last thing, the last mistake that is costing a lot of beginners is the immediate temptation to feed the fish immediately after stocking them. It is true that you have transported them and they have not eaten for several hours, sometimes even 24 hours. They have not eaten. They are being the journey, and you introduce them. You fear that if they don't eat, they will cannibalize, or you fear that if they don't eat, hunger will kill them. But take note, a stressed fish with an empty stomach is better than a stressed fish with full stomach. Why? A fish is stressed. At that time, they don't have much time, or their concern is not about feed. Their concern is about to get rested and get to their new environment, and they are good to go. So the temptation to feed them immediately can give you a lot of implication. First and foremost, if you give them the feed and they don't eat and they're likely not to eat because they're stressed, the leftover feed is going to decay and decompose, increasing ammonia, and that ammonia will burn their gel, and their gel, when it is burned, it is difficult to absorb oxygen and you're likely to lose them. Apart from the ammonia introduction, you're also wasting the fish feed. And then also, if care is not taken, you are going to kill them. So if you have stocked them, the best thing to do is to wait until 12 hours to 24 hours. By then, they have settled with their new environment, they have rested, they have been released from the stress, everything is fine. And then you then introduce them to feed. And we're introducing them to the feed to do that gradually. Don't rush to give them more feed for the purpose of them to grow. No, introduce the feed to them gradually, and they will be adapting to that until they are now okay. They are now eating well, their appetite have been boosted, and you can now be giving them more feed, and you are good to go. But the rush to give them more feed at the few hours of stocking or at the beginning days of stocking, you are likely to have serious implications, because if they don't eat and the ammonia accumulate, you are going to lose them. Thank you so much for watching. If you have found value in the video, please like, share, comment. If you have experienced any of these three mistakes, let me know in the comment section. And if you're a complete beginner and want to be successful in your fish farming journey without much stress, I have made a completely free course for you, about 4 hours solid. This is something we could make and sell for you to make money. But as charitable as we are, we just try to make it simple for you. Click in the end screen or check in the description and watch that completely free YouTube course. And it will teach you everything you need to know, practical, from planning, setting up, site selection, everything that you need to know to set up your farm and be successful. And if you have watched and you have inspired, please don't forget to contact us. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, comment, and then I thank you so much. My name is Abdulaziz Issa. After the game development education, however, I'm a fish farmer and I have been supporting people to start out their farms, and you can equal contact us to help you do that. Thank you.